Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Josh Mast, producer on Toy Soldiers War Chest, and today we're going to take a look at some more gameplay, this time taking a look at the Starbright army. So you can see here, last week we took a look at the Kaiser army, and you can see immediately with the Starbright army it's very different look and feel. Now we're in the backyard in the sandbox, we've got a lot of toys having fun with the flowers and a very different approach to the game. So we talked about last time, this is the idea of all the toys coming together and fighting out those battles that we had in our imagination as kids. So we can see here with the Starbright units, the turrets are very different. So instead of the machine gun that Kaiser used, we've got a bubble gun that Starbright's using. So these bubbles are going to get sprayed across the battlefield and coat the enemy in soap and suds, and then they're going to pop and launch these guys up in the air. So whereas Kaiser, you had a lot of different, machine guns and tanks and armor and explosions, Starbright's more about sort of using real-world things on her defenses. So using the bubble gun, we've also got the moonbeam, which is a bunch of mirrors and magnifying glasses that are redeflecting the light and melting the enemy toys. And you can see with the reload animations, the fairies are flying around and polishing the mirrors and the lenses. And it's, we were thinking of all those things we were doing as kids with our toys, strapping explosives and using magnifying glasses to melt toys, if you were that kind of kid. So we tried to capture that feeling and all that fun that we had and put that into the game. So just like Kaiser's units, all of Starbright's defenses are upgradable, and you unlock and customize these upgrades as you play through the game. And they all will impact, of course, the stats, right? The strategy of the game by making your defenses more powerful or have more range or be able to take more damage. But they also change the way the turrets look. So you can sort of think of it as taking little different bits and pieces of toys and sticking them together to create this, different sort of personalized, customized toy. So last week we took a look at Kaiser, the first hero, and today we're looking at Starbright. So Starbright's arsenal is very different. Again, no machine gun. She's got a hand glitter cannon that's going to shoot glitter and confetti at the enemies. And she's got a heart grenade that's going to explode and blow them to hearts. And we're also showing one of her ultimate weapons, a secondary weapon, the Cupcake Wand, which is devastating. Literally launches a cupcake and blows up the enemy army. Now all of the heroes will have a lot of different weapons and perks and tactics and barrages that the players will unlock as they play through the game, and you can customize the loadout of what you take into battle. We're only looking at 2 of them today, but there'll be a lot of different options depending on how you like to play and what the current map objectives and strategy is. For Starbright's vehicle, we're taking a look today at the Pegasus. So this is a flying vehicle that players can take control of and fly in and around the map and rain down glittery death and rainbow missiles of destruction. So again, last week we looked at Kaiser, who had the tank as a vehicle, which is a very strong ground unit. But for Starbright, her vehicle is this flying Pegasus, which plays very differently and gives the player different options on how they want to deal with the enemy. The artillery unit for Starbright is again very different from the giant cannon, the giant artillery cannon that Kaiser had. Starbright's is a snail with a rubber band strapped to it that shoots golf balls at the enemy. Now, like the rest of the units in the game, with the projectiles that you're firing, the players can take control of it and do the shell cam, so they can adjust in this case, the golf ball while it's in flight. Or they can play more strategically and just let it fire on its own. Another thing that we're showing you this week that we didn't have in the video last week is the tilt shift camera. So this is a separate camera mode that players will be able to pause whatever action is going on in the game, just freeze time. And then they have control over the camera, so they can fly through the map and take a look at the battle that's waging and capture some really cool moments and shots. In this case, we've got an enemy soldier who's been destroyed, so he's reverted to his toy pose and he's flying through the air after being popped and destroyed by bubbles. We had a few questions from the community that I wanted to go ahead and give you some more information on. The first and most popular question, of course, is which platforms and when is the game coming out? Toy Soldiers War Chest will be released on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and PC in early 2015. We also had a question from the community about how many missions will be playable for the armies. So we haven't locked down the exact number of missions yet, but we've got more content than we've had in the previous Toy Soldiers game because we've got this single player campaign that you can play cooperatively with friends as well. And we've got a different campaign for every army. So there's I don't want to say there's 4 times as much content, but there's a lot more content than we had in the previous Toy Soldiers games. Another question we had was how customizable are the armies? So we saw a little bit of how different the heroes play. And each of these heroes also have their own customization path they can go down with the different weapons they can equip, the different upgrades they can apply like perks and tactics, and also the different barrages they can deploy on their enemies. Players will unlock these as they play through the game, and they can choose which ones they're going to take into battle depending on the mission they're going into. So that's it for this week. Tune in again next week. We're going to take a look at a bit more of a deep dive into the different armies and how the units compare, and show you a little bit more detail about what these armies are that Starbright and Kaiser are taking into battle with them.